stillness and blessings, love and light, wholeness and health. To one and to all. Stillness and blessings. Love and light. Wholeness and health. Stillness and blessing. Love and light. Wholeness and health. We tap into our sacred space of Spadhisthana. Now that we're in the flesh, peace and blessings, or stillness and blessings, love and light, wholeness and health, to one and to all. We're gonna get right on in where we left off at. And before I begin, I hope everybody well, feeling good, and healthy, and making the best out of what we're working with. We're trying to be the highest version of, we're trying to be the best version of ourselves. So we gonna get on right on in with the I Am Presence, where we left off at in the 80K loop. The I Am Presence on page 23 for those who got their books. When you call to the presence, you are calling to the presence of everyone in the world. Understand what that says. When you call to the presence, whether it's God, whatever you honor in your spiritual walk, when you call to that presence, you are calling to the presence of everyone on the planet. So this don't got nothing to do with religion. This break the walls of religion down. We're talking about spirituality, the universal soul in every man. So when you call to I want y'all to catch what I'm saying. That's why I'm going through this. When you call to the presence, you are calling to the presence of everyone in the world. Even earnest students do not realize what a power your call to the presence really is. Contemplate life. Where does it come from? from the magic I am presence. Without that life, without that force, without that energy, whatever you want to call it, without it, that life, light, energy flowing into you from the presence, you will have no intelligence, thought, feeling, or action. Therefore, you can see that it is the action of the presence of God, the source. The presence is the doer in every way, so as to make the outer self, the outer form, accept the fact that you can say to your presence, it is my magic I am presence making this call. It is the presence acting and also answering. Because mankind have turned away from the light, although there is the connection with the presence through the ray or stream of light into the heart, each one must now again make a conscious connection, a conscious effort to connect with your own source, your own higher self, your own higher being, your own higher mental body, your own angel. Each one must now again make a conscious connection with his source. Make contact with your own God presence, anchored in your heart. To go on into greater expansion and cosmic activities, it is one's own I am presence that you will progress in or through. No one can get away from that, no matter what the teaching is. And I stand on that, because I done been through many schools of thought. And in my overstanding, I was able to connect all the dots and see that it was the same thing, and that killed the illusion or the matrix of separation. We are all one. It is only our ideologies that cause separation. There's no peace in separation, but this the peace sign though. Y'all please. Each day, hold the attention definitely, hold your attention definitely and unwaveringly on the presence, even if just for a short time. 5 minutes, man. Give yourself 5 minutes. People don't give themselves time to take time for themselves, but you'll give all your time to everybody else. Come on, man. How lost is that? Try to realize when contemplating the presence, the source, God, infinite intelligence. Try to realize that in it are the powers of the universe, given to you as a gift of divine love. I can't claim it for you, but I claim it for myself. Y'all walk with me. Attention to the presence is the most attention to the presence is the most powerful thing in the universe. But the attention must be held unwaveringly for a time. Meditate, meditate, meditate. So you learn to hold your attention. You learn to be aware of how energies can be distracting, and learn to and then you learn to balance them. And in the balancing them, they don't affect you. And then you're in clear face, you see, and then you're able to manipulate the energies, for your benefit instead of your detriment. I just say it like that. Attention to the presence is the most powerful thing in the universe, but the attention must be held unwaveringly for a time. Knowing the presence, you now have a point of focus on which to anchor your attention. A point of focus. 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 Give attention to and become acquainted with your own individualized presence of God, the magic I am presence. Since we are of our own free will, have turned away from the presence of God, it will not act in our world except by invitation. By invitation. By invitation. As you give attention to and call to your presence, it will expand more and more through you. Through you. As you give more and more attention to your presence, it will expand through you, not through me. My work gonna do what my work do for me. your work gotta do what it gonna do for you. As you give more and more attention to your spiritual self, it will expand. I want y'all to understand this, understand this, and overstand this. As you give attention to and call to your presence, it will expand more and more through you. And as less attention is given to discord or the outer side or the outer conditions or situations, the less you give attention to outer situations, because there is nothing outside of you. So once you give no attention to conditions, the presence expands and increases its light in you. The shadows and limitations will decease. Distance of the presence, consciousness. Consciousness is the connection. Distance from the present starting consciousness. So connection to the present starting consciousness. Distance of the presence, your consciousness determines that. Its closeness is according to your thought and feeling. It is not a matter of distance according to the human sense of space. In cosmic reality, the presence abides in a certain realm of light. If the presence and causal body abided in the atmosphere of Earth, how could any discord or imperfection be here? The presence in actuality is not in Earth's atmosphere. It is a being of a four-dimensional reality. And even higher dimension action. But of course, in radiance, it can be as great and as close as you accept it. It was said that if the Christ self came as close as 3 feet to the outer self will become blazing light, burn up. The presence is constantly active at cosmic levels. The energy in the causal body is not stagnant. The presence directs light rays through it and utilizes the accumulated good in cosmic creation. The presence knows not of the human creation of the outer self, but the Christ self does. When one is purified and harmonized sufficiently, the accumulated good in the causal body is released into one's outer use. Transform your karma. You can transform your negative karma into your wealth, and into something beneficial for you. The threefold flame in the heart is a projection of the presence, but the greater part is above. More and more of that presence can be drawn forth and made manifest through the physical form, above. Not in the sky, above. Even where the presence is portrayed close to the physical body, it is still without. The need is to get more of it in action through the physical body, and that is done through consciousness and not through a concept or form in the three-dimensional activity realm. The threefold flame in the heart of development in mankind is only a spark. In an advanced student, it becomes a little replica of the presence of God itself, which is in some teachings referred to as the golden man. Y'all seen The Last Dragon? Or in one of the Matrix when Neo went through a certain initiation with the Chinese master in training, and then he got the gold glow from within. That's the alchemical process. You know, that's the pill that's not taught about because it happens from within. It's a mystery. The golden man in the heart. Other teachings have a more abstract idea as to God and law, while this new instruction explains God as an individualized presence within and above, and to which the physical form of body is connected. It gives one a sense of something more concrete. Most people have a concept of God as an abstract principle only, instead of a focused presence, an individualized living being, a being to whom you can talk and who hears and answers your prayers and calls, because you are that thing. Contemplate your presence. Try to get a feeling of its reality. A living, all-wise being. Pour your love to it, and it is possible to feel a response from it. Some people think they cannot love a being unseen to them or not present to their physical touch. Yet, when one thinks it through, he can generate a feeling of love when he thinks of a child or a person he loves very much. Memory. In that same way, one can pour love to his own God presence, who has been ignored and forgotten for a very long time. Yet through the ages, it has kept on giving you life and all by which you have had an existence. Self-love is the best love, and that don't mean selfishly. So that's going to go over most people's head, because I've been watching it go over everybody's head I say it to. Self-love is the best love, and it ain't selfish, it's selfless. The spheres of color around the presence represent the powers of the presence. They are symbolized by blue, which represents power and protection. Yellow, illumination, the Christ in action. Pink, love, divine compassion. White, purity. Green, precipitating power, consecration. Ruby, the color of the sixth ray. The sixth ray. The sixth ray. Yahshua came under the sixth ray. Instead of ruby, can be used gold, according to the teaching. It's usually used at this present stage of development. As Jesus, the Chohan of the sixth ray, has been working under the Christ activity, the action of ministration. Violet, the violet flame, transmutation. The action of the seventh ray is not only that of transmutation. On other planets where there is no discord, they do not need purification as we do here on earth. But also of invocation and radiation. Invocation and radiation. The colors of the causal body are tentative. We use one color for each ray, although each color is sevenfold. Each color is sevenfold. Each color is sevenfold. So that's 7 by 7 by 7 by 7. Do the math. Each color is sevenfold, ranging from a very light tint to a very deep color. For example, the violet from a light orchid to a deep purple. We're talking about shades, man. We're talking about levels. This knowledge of the individualized presence gives one a definite focus of God, a powerhouse and active intelligence from which to draw, while knowing for God, just as spirit does not give that. While knowing God, just as spirit does not give that. Spirit is the radiance or radiation of the focalized presence of God. Spirit is the radiation, the aura of the causal body. But within that is the individualized presence. It is said God is spirit, God is love. Yes, true, but those are only abstract ideas. Here is a vital and important point in this understanding, not given in other teachings, that our individualized presence of God are in heaven, the higher realms of our consciousness, while we as individuals are active in the human realm. The presence is the highest activity. Individually, the presence of God, whose thought is flame and whose desire is creation. We're going to build. We're going to build, God build. Your presence is the foundation of the universe. It is one with the great I am. Your presence, the governor of the universe, has projected you. My presence projected me. See, my higher self projected me. Now I'm in the flesh. Y'all walk with me. The light pattern upon which your human form, my outer self, my outer form, is built. So you see, you are a part of the great perfection. Your presence is individualized, yet it is one with the great I am, which is one in quality. So we can justly say that all are one. Wholeness. The mankind of earth were immortal beings before they came. The mankind of earth were immortal beings before they came, and not to evolve into immortals, because we was already immortals, but to expand our light and become greater outposts to render service to the universe. You are outposts of the presence. You are the focus of the Godhead at your point in the universe according to your consciousness. Acceptance, allowance, is a power of infinite activity within you. It is the presence in action. According to your balancing of its powers, will you have the fullness of the presence or only part of it? When we call the presence into action, it compels divine love, wisdom, and power in balanced action. God in action. Think what that means. There is only one way. Your acknowledgement of the magic I am power. The energy flowing through the stream of light, the silver cord, as it is sometimes called, does not discriminate. But when you call to the presence, that becomes a wholly different thing. It is one thing to know the presence is there, but to have its action is the great command. That ray of light from the presence is just energy flowing. When one knows the presence, then in the call to that presence, it becomes love, wisdom, power, and balanced action. One who does not know and accept his or her magic I am presence cannot have that action, cannot have this joy, cannot experience this happiness, cannot experience this energy, cannot experience the weightlessness of being in the flow. Everything that is in the physical realm has come through the stream of light from the presence. That energy from your electronic body, the I am presence, can be requalified. Charge it with ascended master consciousness, which cannot be requalified. It requires only a sufficient determination for anything, for the presence to release the power for full manifestation. Practice accepting the presence. One must use or practice the presence. Just to come into the knowledge of the presence is not enough. Just to know about the knowledge of this is not enough. Know in your feelings that a ray of light from the presence beats your heart. The open door really represents the presence. Can you walk through? And with that, stillness and blessings, love and light, wholeness and health. To one and all, like, share, subscribe. If you want to donate, my cash app is Sawu the God, SAIWOODAGOD. Sawu the God, SAIWOODAGOD. And that's that cash app, man. One love. Peace.